Hi, it's Gordon with week 9 of 2012, a year with Mya-Moe Unscripted. And this week I'm going to talk about book matching and single piece tops and backs for the instrument. Now, when we get wood, it's like this. It's a block of wood. It's usually even thicker. This is some gorgeous myrtle. And then we take it on the bandsaw and we slice it this way. So we slice it into very thin, even thinner than this sometimes, slices. And then if you open up these slices like this, you get what's called a book match. And you can see there that those two slices are symmetrical. And the same is true of each of the sets of slices in here. Now when we make our instruments, we always use consecutive slices of the wood. So the top and the back are consecutive slices, and the sides, most all of the time, come from the exact same board. Now larger companies don't do that. It's harder to do, it's more expensive, there's a little bit more just work so that you don't get wood waste. But we love the look of Bookmatch. So here's an instrument that's got a book matched back, and you can see it's very symmetrical. This is curly koa, and so the line is right down the middle, and then each of those two sides are identical or symmetrical, and they were achieved when we opened up that wood like that and we glued them together. And when we glue them together, the back, we use this very thin strip of cross-grained spruce, and this strip weighs, I just weighed it, weighs 1 gram, and we put it down the middle of the ukulele, the middle of the back, in order to add a little bit of strength to that joint. And I'm going to show you that strip in here. I think you can see it. If you look in and I tilt it, I'm going to even use a little flashlight here. See up in there? That's that back splice going right up, and it goes all the way from that neck block all the way down to the other end and the end block. That's the end block and the other end down here. So that's what's used to reinforce the back. And that is, when we do the book match, we put that in the, down the center of the back. We don't have anything down the center of the front or the top plate because there are other braces that are adding sufficient rigidity and strength to the top. So I'm going to show you another instrument here. And this is a super soprano, also out of master grade koa. And this one is a single piece back. And as you can see, it is not symmetrical down, side to side if we look down a line in the middle, because this is all one piece. And the top, cut from that same block of wood, is single piece. And there's a lot of discussion, belief about single piece, and is it better or does it perform differently? The fact is that single piece tops and backs are more expensive, and the reason is that larger pieces of wood are harder to come by. And so if we have to get a single piece of wood, especially for a larger instrument, it's just more expensive to source that, and it means that the tree was larger or cut in a slightly less efficient way. Is it acoustically better? Well, there's certainly a school of thought that says there is, and I am a believer that everything affects the acoustics. And that being the case, just gluing this little piece of wood down the middle of the back has an effect on the acoustics. But it's very hard, in fact I would say impossible, to measure that effect, and the reason is that it is so small an effect that other things in the instrument affect it more. So it's impossible to have two instruments that are completely exactly identical. We've tried. We've built two out of the same block of wood, the same builder, everything the same. And it's the organic differences from one slice of wood to another that just make them different. And so while I believe that the single piece back and top is acoustically different, it is very, very small. I think you get an instrument that possibly has a little bit more responsiveness and a little bit more sustain and volume. But if I were ordering one, I don't think I would let that affect my thinking. I would look more at, do I like the look of this single piece and the fact that it is not a Bookmatch, this gorgeous one piece? Or do I like the look of this symmetry from one side to the other? And I think that in this case, I would let the aesthetics guide my decision more than the acoustics. Again, it's one of those things that you can overthink. So that's it for this week, and I will see you in a week. Bye-bye.